Hello, I'd like to welcome you to Young Martin's Reels. Today's project is going to be this Spark VO 1800. It's an Olympic reel, and I believe it's Olympic. Yeah, Olympic Spark VO. And I did this reel, I guess it's been about a year or so ago. And I kind of pieced it together as best I could. What it was, when it came in, it was missing drag washers. And the drag washers that I stuck in here were just pieces and parts that I had laying around. Well, this thing has developed a problem, and that is that the drag sticks. And each time I go out, I have to actually grab hold of it and pop it loose to get it to start working in. I've serviced the drags in it a couple times. They're mismatched parts. And so what I've decided to do, I want to try to make a set of drag washers for this. What I did is I purchased this sheet of carbon fiber. And what I want to do, I want to try to make a set of carbon fiber drag washers out of this sheet of carbon fiber and install them in here. So I'm going to have you guys go along with me as I work through this. So the first thing we're going to have to do is get to the drag washers. Okay, I take the spool off. I'm going to set the reel out of the way. The reel is working just fine, aside from the fact that the drags aren't functioning properly. And we're going to go ahead and pop the clip spring out. And then I'm going to take out the drag washers. Okay, let's see exactly what we have in here. On top, I have the keyed washer. Below that, we have a felt drag washer, which is just incredibly thin. Okay, below that, we had this keyed washer, and it's got a hard fiber drag washer sitting under that, so it goes like that. Then there is this keyed washer followed up again by this metal washer, tension washer. And what we want to try to do, first off, I believe there really should be another drag washer under here in between these two. But we're going to try to, yeah, this is a homemade drag washer. You can see it's not symmetrical or anything. It was just probably cut out with a pair of scissors or something. And this one here is a hard fiber, which is pliable one direction, but not pliable the other direction. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to make a set of drag washers for this thing. We're going to slide all this out of the way, and we're going to come in here and see if I can make enough room on my workbench to get this laid down. And we did. Okay. And I don't really think I need that plastic sheet on there, so I'll pull that back. And I sanded this a little bit to see if it would, if you had a choice between it being rough or smooth. But here's what we're going to do. I'm going to mark this out. And let's see what size these drag washers actually are. That one's not really the right size. This one is. And let's see what size it actually is. It's going to be just under 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to come out here to the edge. And we're going to mark this at 3/4 of an inch. I get some more light on this subject. didn't help much. Let's try again. There we go. Okay, let me turn this up to where I can see. There's the 3/4 mark right there. In this lighting, I can't see that mark. Okay, so we're going to mark it 3/4 here, and then we're going to come down here, mark it again at 3/4, and I'm going to lay this straight edge along it, and we're going to start cutting it with a razor knife and see if we can make this work. Let's see if it's starting to look like we got a decent edge there. Well, we're cutting, but it doesn't look like we're getting into it very deep. I may need a new razor knife, but we'll see. Okay. Took a little effort, but we got this piece cut off. Okay, there's one. Okay, I have 3 of these now. And what I'm going to do, I want to drill a hole through the middle of them. And then I'm going to find a screw and a nut that I can tighten down on each side with these 2 keyed washers, like so, sandwiched in between. And I'm going to chuck that up in my lathe and see if I can turn this down to a reasonable size. Okay, so we're going to see if that's going to work for me. But first I got to find a screw, and I'll be back. Okay, I've chucked these pieces up in my vise, and I'm going to try to drill a hole through the center of it, and I'll do the best I can at that. And unfortunately, there's not enough room for you guys and me both in here, so I'm going to have to move you guys off and come in with the drill, and I'll come back to the hole. All right, it drilled a whole lot easier than I thought it would. It took about 10 seconds to go through all 3 pieces. So now what I'm going to do, well, hang on, we missed one piece. It didn't drill all 3 pieces. It pushed one of them out of the vise. So yeah, you can see the little dimple where it hit it. And I wonder if I can keep it just barely in the camera. Nope. Okay, 3 pieces of carbon fiber cut. I'm gonna get the vise out of here. Well, no, I'm not. I'm gonna use that in just a second. Here's what I'm gonna do. I've got this little nut, and I'm gonna use it to squeeze all this down. And I think the best way to do that is to go ahead and start first off, know this, I'm not a machinist. So I do have a metal lathe now, and I'm just beginning to learn how to use it. So what that means is I don't know what I'm doing. And all right, we're gonna take the 2 keyed washers now. We're gonna set one down. Let's turn it this way. Yeah, put the rough side towards these. We're gonna slide this screw through the middle of this keyed washer. Then we're gonna slide on the first drag washer, second, and third. And then we'll put on the other keyed washer. We're gonna put this in the screw, and we're going to tighten it down. And that is a locking nut, so it's pretty tight. We're going to see if we can screw this into it. All right, now that wedges these in here pretty snug. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this out and put it on my, let's see if we can get a good video here. We're going to take this out and we're going to chuck it up into my new metal lathe, and we're going to try to spin this up and see if we can turn these carbon fiber plates into carbon fiber drag washers and make this work. We'll see. Okay, sorry about that, guys, but the whole time that I was cutting this, the camera was not on. So this is the end result of having those washers in here. I used the lathe, I cut it down, and it's not perfect, but I think it's pretty close. I think it's going to get the job done. And I wish I had turned the camera on, but that's the way it is. I'm going to take it back in now. We're going to take this out and see if we don't have some carbon fiber washers that we can use in this reel. All right, well, I wish you had gotten to see that, but I guess I'm not smart enough to remember to turn the stupid camera on. Okay, we're going to unscrew this out of here. And let's have a look at our 3 carbon fiber washers. There's our 2 keyed washers. I just lost one. Oh no, there it is. There's our 2 keyed washer, and here are the 3 carbon fiber drag washers that I've made, and I'm debating if I should sand them or not. I don't think so. I think they're going to be fine just the way they are. We're going to take this out of here now. Set these down. And I don't know if I can fit 3 in there. I'm going to try. Okay, so here's the stack up I'm planning to have now. There's this tension washer. Then there's going to be carbon fiber. Then keyed washer. Then another carbon fiber washer. Followed up by the eared washer. Followed by another carbon fiber. Followed up by the last keyed washer. That's my stack up that I'm going to put in here, if it'll fit. And that's a lot to ask. I might end up losing this tension washer because I really don't think it's necessary once I've gone this route. Okay, so let's put in carbon fiber. Now let's see if the hole I put in these is big enough to fit through the axle shaft. No, they're not. Okay, so I've got to go back and drill these one size bigger so that they'll fit. Okay. I think I can get by with just holding those. I should have checked that before. I was more worried about them being able to fit through this keyed part, but yeah, it's a little more important to be able to get the big part of that on. So let's see what we can do. I'm just going to hold these with this duckbill right here like so and drill these out. I guess I ought to get it up to speed before I try putting it in. Okay, there's one. Tighten that down. Try this one more time. Okay. That one. That one is done. Got one to go. Well, if nothing else, they look really cool. All right, now let's go back and try this again. Let me go ahead and put my drill bit away. All right, now these should fit on the axle shaft, and they do. Okay, so here we go. Carbon fiber. Keyed washer, carbon fiber, eared washer, carbon fiber, and keyed washer. And it looks like there just is enough room to put the spring back in. And now I have to locate my spring. Okay, somehow I managed to lose that clip that was in here. I don't know how or where or why. It's probably going to, usually when I lose things like that, it turns up like the next day. So I'm not too overly worried about it because it probably will turn up. But I didn't want to put this together without one. So I went ahead and made one out of a spring, out of some spring wire. I used some 36 thousandths. And we're going to spin this on around here and lock it in. Homemade spring. It's tight. It's very tight. Like so. All right, that'll keep that from flying out of there. And let's see what kind of drag we have. Oh, that didn't hold that one in, did it? Not big enough. Not big enough. Okay, but that's okay because the drag washer will hold them in. But now I'm gonna have to take that one out. 36 thousandths is not big enough. So I'm gonna leave it out for now. I apologize to you that I can't find it. However, I'm pretty sure it's gonna show up. They usually do. I didn't shoot it off anywhere, so it's. I thought it was laying right here on the bench, and it probably got caught on the edge of a rag and fell to the floor or something, and I just haven't found it. Okay, so we're going to leave it off for right now. The only thing it does is it keeps these in with the drag knob removed. So let's go ahead, tighten down the drag knob. Okay, that's a little too tight. Okay, well, that feels pretty good. Let's get the string on the outside here, and let's do a pull test on this. And I don't have a spring handy to be able to adjust, but that's not too bad. Back it off a little. Yeah, what it does have is a nice smooth drag compared to what it did have. All right, so I think I'm going to be pleased with that. And I'm taking it fishing tomorrow. I'm hoping that I catch a fish with it. As a matter of fact, we got 12-pound test on there. Where did I see that yesterday? I got a D-lyre over here. And what we're going to try to do is set this to about 6 pounds of pressure. That's what we're going to shoot for. Okay. It's got 12-pound test line on it. And okay, set this on here, and let's give it a pull. Right now it's got 2 pounds of drag. Okay, try it again. Five pounds of drag. And we are wrapped around up here. There we go. And let's wind this in some. Okay, and test our drag again. And I should have showed you before I took it apart what the drag was testing at. It was all over the place. Okay, we're at 5 pounds right now. And of course, the hook on this is really sharp, and it cut it at about right at 6 pounds. So I think we're good. We'll leave it at that. See how it feels. That feels pretty, to me that's a little tighter than I usually have. All right, so I think that feels good right there. All right, I'm gonna set this up, put it on my rod, and get it ready to go fishing tomorrow, and clean up my table and see if I can't find that spring. If I do, I'll put it back in there. As is usually the case, I did end up finding the spring wire. When I moved everything out of the way, it had slid across. And let's go ahead. And I don't want to take all this back off. I've got the line and everything hooked onto this rod, so I really don't want to take all that back apart right now. So let's go ahead and get this foot into place. There we go. All right, got that put back in, and like I said, that's the way that usually works. I'll lose it and then I'll find it. While I was looking for that, I guess it's been about a month ago. Okay, now this is not, there is an issue. Okay, this is not spring loaded. So that's why they had this tension washer in the bottom. That provided this spring action. That being the case, I think I'm going to take one of those washers back out and put this tension washer back in its place. Otherwise, there's going to be too much pressure. It's not going to be nearly as adjustable as I want it to be. So, and I could leave the spring wire off and just put that in there, but I'm not going to do it that way. All right, there we go. It's got all that back in. The eared washer needs to line up. There we go. That's got everybody back in where they belong. Okay. There. We went down all the way. Yeah. Now we have an adjustable drag. It's spring loaded. And yeah, that feels much better. Okay. And I end up with one extra carbon fiber washer that I can use on something else later. Hope you liked the video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. Tell me what you didn't like about it, aside from the fact that I forgot to turn the stupid camera on when I cut those drag washers. Not really doing you guys a lot of good for me to tell you I did it when you didn't get to see it. But yeah, don't tell my wife that I spent $1,000 on a lathe so that I could make a $2 part. All right. So for now, that's Rick Stivers. Okay, so for right now, that's Rick Stivers, Young Martin's Reels, signing out.